We're going to start straight off by saying Barak Yahweh Bahashim Yahshai, Barak Yahweh Bahashim Yahshai. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth, spreading this word around the world, and spreading righteous around the world. So we're going to jump straight into it. This will be a video about the coronavirus, so we're going to jump around a little bit. The coronavirus, I've been due for one of these, but since it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's looking like this is the big one from the Lord, it could be, it could not be. We're gonna see. We're gonna continue to see how hard it hits Mystery Babylon. That's what's really gonna indicate to us if that's the big one or not, how hard it hits Mystery Babylon. So just gonna bring out a couple facts, some proof and stuff like that, and of course bring out the Holy Bible, some scriptures. So we just gonna jump straight into it. Quick, I got a couple videos right here that I gotta say. Bear with me.
Someone smashing this car's window to get to the face masks inside. Amid the confusion and mounting fear, there are a growing number of reports around the world of Asians being shunned or targeted due to fear of the new coronavirus.
If another person coughs, people don't pay attention to it. But if an Asian person coughs, people move away, people shun you.
Jung says his friend was recently threatened on a public bus.
They said, if you sneeze at me, I'll kill you. They said this to someone on the bus.
This college student says she was also targeted. She says when she sat down at a communal study table already occupied by 5 other students, she sensed something was wrong.
They started whispering, started looking at me, and within like 3 to 5 minutes, they quickly gathered their stuff and left.
The CDC is now saying that this...
Con. And let me get turned up real quick. Just got up, wanted to do a video. Let me get turned up real quick because... you're damn right. You damn right. And this is Bible prophecy with Moab being shamed, Ammon, the Ammonites being shame faces and stuff like that. This is Bible prophecy already. And, they deserve it, for what they've done, all the wickedness that they done spread. And they put this on themselves for just not even keeping a dietary law, But they deserve it. And you damn right. If I see a Chinese person, a so-called Moabite, a so-called Chinese in a Moabite in the Bible, if I see them, attendants are going to raise. Sirens are going to go off. Hey, you ain't tripping. Hold up. I just had an experience the other week ago where my mother was talking about grab her some Chinese rice from the China store, from the China house, and I'm like, hey, hold up. They got a lot of stuff going on. You don't know where they getting their meat. You don't know where this Chinese woman been. They've been in business for a long time. They got a little money. You don't know if she flew back. You don't know if she got a daughter or a son that flies over there and flies back. An uncle, a brother. You never know who she got her family that went over there and came back. And then she done got this disease. And now they saying that this virus. And now they're saying that it could stay up in your body undetected for 24 days before they even know what's going on. And you could catch it a second time. And when you catch it a second time, it's possible for instant death. As soon as you catch it, you get it the first time, you go home, you beat it. You know what I mean? Your body is supposed to develop some like antibodies once you catch it the first time and you overcome it. But then the second time you get it, it's even worse, because then that antivirus that your body develops goes against it, and it ends up seizing your heart, tearing down your heart, pretty much stopping your heart. So all these different things, and it's really undetectable, and it spreads by air. It could spread by air. You have a face mask, and it could spread through your eyes. It could spread through your skin. All these different things, and they really don't know the full capabilities of this or how to stop it. So you never know. You got Chinese Americans. You never know who they got in their family. They might have not been back to China, but you never know who they got in their family or who close friends they got that have been over there and came back. And on top of that, you don't know what, you really don't. We all made jokes about it. We don't know what they put in their food. When you get meat from them, you don't really know what that meat is. We all been knowing, they eat dogs, they eat cats, they eat bats, they eat pigs. We know they do those things. We've been saying this for many years and many years, So they get shamefaced. And then you can ask, the big question is, well, why is this all happening? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's why this all happened. It's in the Bible. If y'all Christians, Catholics, and these people in these other in these religions and stuff like that, if y'all really read y'all Bible, y'all understand exactly what happened. Y'all be like, oh, this was in the Bible. This was prophesied to already happen in the Bible way before this stuff started happening. Way before this society was built and stuff like that. They being shamefaced. So what we said about look. They for lack of time, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it in my own words. But they were saying like you was pretty much see a Chinese person in the street and you'll move over. You go to the other side of the street. Now you gotta remember those curses, that's a curse that's being taken off Jake and being put on the heathen nations. You see, and that's more proof to further go along to show that the curses are being switched. And that shows you, and that's more proof to show you that this is the end times and the Lord is on his way. Because the curses are being switched off Israel because we're waking up and we're doing this work. That was a curse that was on Jake. When you see Jake on one side of the street, you go to the other side of the street. Because you don't know if he's going to try to run off with your bag or rob you for anything. That was a curse that put on Jake. When you see Jake, he'd sit at a table next to you. You would sit down for 2-3 minutes, look around, and you would get up and you would move and they'd be gone. That was a curse that's put on Jake, and then that's being put on Moabites and Ammonites. So the curses are being switched on the other nations. That's coming to a place near you very soon. That's coming to Mystery Babylon. That's coming to America very soon. You're going to see a whole bunch of those things. This is a trial run. We get to see it go over. We get to see it live going on over there. And then it's eventually going to come to a place near you. It's going to come home. It's going to all come full circle. And then it's going to be closer to you. So we're seeing how this is going to. And this really is like a warning. Get ready. They say, man, it's inedible. They can't stop this. They don't have no way to stop it. Let's jump and get a couple scriptures to back up our word real quick. And we're going to jump around in the book too. Because I have some things marked in the book for the sake of time. This is Jeremiah chapter 48. Let's just start at the top. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord of hosts. Moab, the Chinese, right? And God of Israel. Woe unto Nebo. Nebo, for it is spoiled. Corinthium is confounded and taken. Misgad is confounded and dismayed. And these are ancient Moabite cities. But when they moved out the land and whatever land they go to the Lord, their big cities are still goes by these names. Because remember, you got to remember, it's a place, just like Jerusalem is a place before, it's a people before it's a place. So Jerusalem was an actual place, but you got many scriptures that say, okay, Jerusalem was moved out the land and Jerusalem was scattered. But it's not actually talking about the land of Jerusalem that was scattered. It's talking about the people. So wherever they go, that is spiritual Jerusalem, wherever they're ruling at, wherever they're in rulership. So it's not spiritual Jerusalem in America because we're not in rulership. But the Moabites are in rulership over their land. So yes, it's still spiritual Nebo, spiritual Corinthium, and Misgad. You see, so it's very simple things to understand. Either you want to understand. If you don't, then it's simply because of that you don't want to understand it. Right? So they are confounded and dismayed. You see what I'm saying? That at this coronavirus, they are confounded. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to beat it. They don't know how to stop it. They shut down their economy. They're hurting their economy. They're propping up stocks to cover it up. But everybody know they're hurting, and everybody know that they're confounded and they're dismayed. There should be no more praise of Moab. And Heshbon, they have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut down, old madman, the sword shall pursue thee. Right? So there ain't no more praise of Moab. Ain't nobody praising them. Ooh, they're so great. Ooh, they're so great with their technology. They're years ahead of everybody with technology. They're strong. They got a 1 billion man army. You know what I mean? They're number 2 economy, possibly finna be the number 1 economy, superpower in the world. There ain't gonna be no more praises. When you think about the Chinese now, don't they got that coronavirus? Ooh, I need to stay away from them. See, ain't no more praise of them. And and I actually want to say too, there's a lot more that has to happen. this is just the start for Moab. There's a lot more. The sword has to come up against them. War has to come up against them. That's coming soon. Cause when you think about it, let's take a deep thought. Let's do some critical thinking, right? When Moab, with this coronavirus shutting down their economy, and it's getting bad and bad and bad, and people ain't going to work. First of all, you got a lot of things that could happen from that. Martial law, they gonna get out there and make people go to work, or they gonna lock people up and kill people as they're doing right now. Cause ain't nobody gonna want to go to work until this thing is 100% clear. So when they economy gets so bad, they say, man, it's not 100% clear, but we gotta force y'all to go to work because the economy is getting bad. You know, warehouses, industrial businesses, all type of different businesses are getting shut down, and they're losing their money, and they're going out of business because they ain't got no workers. They ain't got nobody working there. So then what you think gonna happen? And then other nations are gonna see this and see that they're confounded, and they're gonna take advantage of it. Eventually a war is gonna break out. China's gonna have to go to war in order to stay in this position, hold this position, or it's gonna die out. So the Lord is kind of like really putting a hook in their mouth, and he's forcing them to come down to war. Come here. He's forcing them to, you know, get ready and react and do something. Because if you don't react and do nothing, then you're just going to die out. This virus is going to kill you slowly, like most viruses do. And that's crazy because that's on the individual level. But even on the grand scale level, it's killing them slowly. Their economy is shut down. So they're going to have to open the economy back up. And what's going to happen when they open the economy back up? That virus is going to spread 100 times worse than it's already spread, because everybody's going to be back out to work. Everybody's going to be back in the streets. Everybody's going to be back on the bus stations. Everybody's going to be back on the planes, and that virus is going to spread like hayfire, even worse than it is now. And then what's going to happen if you have a virus spreading like that unchecked? Well, remember we said, if you get it the second time, it's like an instant death. People are going to be falling left and right just because they're going to be thirsty. But that's just because they're going to be thirsty to open their economy. But that's just my prediction. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to look at that through these next couple months, and we're going to see, right? A voice of crying shall be from Horonim, spoiling and great destruction. Moab is destroyed, and her little ones have caused a cry to be heard. So, you know, they're going to be crying. They're already crying in the street when you see grandma fall dead from the coronavirus, you know, but even more when war comes and war goes back and forth, and they're fighting the virus at the same time, and they're fighting the economy shutting down at the same time, martial law, everything is going to come down on their head at one time. At the same time, eventually they're going to be, and the whole world is going to be like that. The whole world. Let's just jump to verse 9. Give wings into Moab, that it may flee and get away, for the cities thereof shall be desolate, without any to dwell in it. And that actually happened already, because they had a holiday, the Chinese New Year holiday, right? And before we knew about it on this side of the world, they already knew about it. Millions of people had left for the Chinese holiday, but I really think that it's a cover-up. I think millions of people left because of the Chinese holiday, that too, and also because they already had that virus popping over there before we even knew it. And people start fleeing before the quarantine came in. Just like right now, right? If we knew a quarantine was coming to America, let's just say next week, people will start fleeing out the cities right now. You see what I'm saying? And then the quarantine hitting, the people that stay, a lot of people that stayed would be quarantined off, right? But millions will start fleeing right now. You see what I'm saying? And I expect that, you know, that's probably what Moab and the Chinese was doing, but that's coming from me, you know. And the cities thereof should be desolate, while any to dwell in them. Well, that's what's happening right now. The cities are desolate. Nobody's on the streets. It looked like a ghost town, one of the most population cities, 11 million people in one city, you know, stuff like that. 500 million people they saying over there is quarantined off, you know, back and forth, 200 million, 500 million, but it's hundreds of millions of people that's being reported quarantined. But these cities look like ghost towns. Ain't nobody dwelling in these cities. They living in them, but you couldn't tell from looking on the outside. It looked like a ghost town. You see what I'm saying? It should be desolate, but it's going to even become more desolate because a lot of these people are dropping dead in their houses. They cremating bodies. And then when war come over there, people are going to be getting killed too, right? So let's keep going. Cursed be he that does it, the work of the Lord deceitfully, And cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. Right? Moab has been at ease from his youth, and he has settled on his leagues and has not been empty from vessel to vessel, neither has he gone into captivity. Therefore his taste remained in him, and his scent is not changed. Therefore behold, the day comes, saith the Lord, that I will send into him wonders, and shall cause him to wander, and shall empty his vessel and break their bottles. Right? So you never heard about a whole bunch of Chinese, like, on a mass level, millions and millions going into captivity. He been at ease since Moab, since the beginning, since his forefather. They've been at ease, over there just living. They was the samurais. They was always praised for being strong and being able to fight good, and having an economy, a whole bunch of people and stuff like that, and having technology. They've been at ease, like the Lord says, since the beginning. Right? But the Lord said he gonna send wanders, and should cause him to wander and empty his vessel and break their bottles. And that's what's happening now. Wanders, man. Where did this disease come from? It came from bats. It came from pigs. Okay, it's here. How do you defeat it? How do you get rid of it? We don't know, man. We wondering. How do you get rid of this? Man, our economy's gonna come down. We wondering, was this a attack on us? Was it natural? What we gonna do about the economy? How we gonna get people to go back to work? We gotta quarantine these cities off. That they're wondering, right? And Moab should be ashamed of Chesmos, as the house of Israel was ashamed of Bethel. They're confident. So it was time where we was ashamed, and that goes back to what I said earlier. The curses are being switched off us. That's why it says that in verse 13, and it's being switched on the heathen, because we had those curses on us, and we was ashamed. Of one of our major cities. Our major cities, within Jerusalem. We was ashamed when all that stuff went down and it was destroyed, and we had plagues on us. And now Moab is going to be ashamed of one of their top cities, as we see right now, and let it hit Hong Kong. Let it hit some of the bigger cities, which it is starting to hit, and we're going to see it even more. Matter of fact, let's jump down to verse 15. Moab is spoiled and gone up out her cities, and his chosen young men are gone down to the slaughter, saith the king, whose name is Lord of hosts. And the calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasn't fast. All ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod, though daughter thou's inhabit, did down come down from thy glory, and sit and thirst, for the spoiler of Moab should come upon thee, and he should destroy thee with strongholds. And it's pretty much just saying, look, verse 20, Moab is confounded, for it is broken down. Howl and cry, tell ye it in Iran that Moab is spoiled. So Moab is spoiled. China is spoiled. Their economy is finna be spoiled. It's finna be done. They can't hold on for too much longer, man, when ain't nobody working. Ain't no food coming in, which is causing famines, because you ain't got truck drivers coming in, because, it's a quarantine. So ain't nobody coming in and out. People are dying of famine. People are dying by martial law, by the gun, because they want to get this truth out, and people are dying by the disease. They're spoiled, and they hold on as long as they can, but they ain't got that much time, man. They ain't got that much time, so let's jump into another video.
On the East Coast, the number of cases worldwide moving past 65,000, deaths nearing 1,500, and also the 15th case in the United States has now been confirmed. That patient is part of a group quarantined at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. One district in Hubei province, where there are more than 500 confirmed cases, has started wartime population control measures. That means all buildings are closed. Everyone must stay in their homes. Neighborhood associations will buy food and medicine for the residents. And those measures are expected to last 2 weeks. Beyond the fight to beat the virus, another battle has broken out.
Right? So that's what I just said. Wartime measures. They said the food to come in. And it's expected to last for 2 weeks. It's expected to last for 2 weeks. Then what? You gonna keep bringing more food in until you can't? You see what I'm saying? That disease, that virus is very highly, it spreads very easily. The people bringing it in getting the disease. The doctors are dying left and right getting the disease. How many doctors are you going to kill? How many doctors do you have? Until you ain't got no more doctors left no more. And then what? The disease is just running wild. You see what I'm saying? And the famine is coming. And that was plagues that was put on Israel, and it's the same plagues that's being taken off of us, and it's being put on the heathen nations now. Because we doing this work, that's how we know as a nation we're doing something right. Because these prophecies are popping off. So we doing something right, and that gives us a lot of hope. There's a lot of things going on. Simply because of us waking up to this word. Let's jump into Isaiah 15. The burden of Moab, because in the night of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Because in the night of of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. He is going up to Bijith and to Didon, the high places, to weep. Moab shall howl over Nebo and over Medeba. On all their heads shall be baldness, and every beard cut off. And in their streets shall gird themselves with sackcloth on tops of their houses, and in their streets everyone shall howl, weeping abundantly. And Hashbon shall cry, and Elah, and their voices shall be heard even into Jahaz. Therefore the armed soldiers of Moab shall cry out, his life shall be grievous unto him. My heart shall cry out for Moab, his fugitives shall flee into Zorah, and Hafra 3 years old, and by the mounting up of Lihith, with weeping shall they go it up, for in the way of Harim shall they rise up to cry of destruction. And this is a lot of things that's coming back around, and even their soldiers weeping in the streets. You got martial law soldiers. Well, to really do martial law, you have to have soldiers on the ground. You have to have soldiers going door to door. You have to have, they got the drones out in the skies checking on people. They got the borders and stuff locked down. But these people got this disease, and they can't stop it. It's highly contagious. So what do you think's happening to the soldiers? They're getting this disease. And what do you think's happening to the soldiers when they're seeing grandma down the street die? They seen grandpa down the street that had this store in this village. Never came out their village. The whole village got it, and this whole ancient village just got wiped out by this disease and destroyed. They're humans too. They're soldiers, but they got family in these cities because a lot of them come from these places. And they're seeing their family and people die right in front of them, but they're being instructed by the government to do one thing. They're weeping. And even more, they're going to be weeping more when wartime measures come, like they said, and war really pops off too. But it just goes to show, even on a lower level right now, it's happening. It's going to ramp up even more and more and more, like contractions, like a woman having contractions. It's going to start getting worse until the baby come. And when that baby come, it's all over. Yahweh Shai coming, it's game over. So it's just contractions on the world. It's getting worse and worse. It feels like it's tarrying, but it's really getting worse and worse, just like contractions until the baby comes. Until the firstborn son, the one and begotten son comes, in the streets, so, armed soldiers should cry, that their hearts should cry out, just more judgment on Moab that's coming. Let's jump into the Apocrypha real quick. Let's jump into second address. Here, this is second address 15, 17, 15. Let's start from verse, of course, 17. A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able. For because of his pride, the city shall be troubled and the houses shall be destroyed, and man should be afraid. I'm going to leave it right there. That's what martial law is. That's what quarantine off. A man desiring to go into a city. Because look, even if you quarantine the city off and nobody could get out, well, if you leave a city, you're going to another city, right? So in the people that's coming back home that desire to get into the city to check on their family, check on your people, to make sure they are right. As they say, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because it's quarantine off. For because of their pride, the city should be troubled and the house should be destroyed and all men should be afraid. Because remember, it said that Moab was very prideful. They was very prideful because they pretty much been untouched since the beginning. Never going to captivity, pretty much, just being on the top always and being untouched. It was pride. So they pride deceived them. Now they got martial law. Now they got quarantine. 500 something million people quarantined off and millions dying. The true numbers, right? Let's keep moving. Let's go back to let's jump to Ezekiel 28 verse 23. For I will send into her pestilence and the blood into her street, and the wounded shall be judged in the midst of her by the sword upon her on every side, and they should know that I'm Lord. These is things that happened to Israel, of course, but it's just showing those same curses that's put on us are going to happen to them. So now that's why we see the pestilences going into the street, like viruses and stuff like that going into the streets. The plagues, the same plagues that was put on us, is being put on them and it's going into the streets. The Lord said he would do that. Let's jump over to Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 17. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will send upon them a sword, the famine, and pestilence, and will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. And a lot of these things happen to us, Israel too. But like I said, the curses are being put on the other nations. And the Lord said, if you wondering what's going to happen, this was going to happen. The Lord said he's going to send a sword, a famine, pestilence. So we see from the pestilence and the virus, a famine. They just said they're going to have food for probably 2 more weeks. Then what? People got to go back to work. Farmers got to go back to work and everything. They got to unquarantine the city off so food can get in and get out, right? But a sword is going to come. So that let me know, doing critical thinking, that somewhere down the line, that war going to break out. War going to have to break out, because what happens when you get confounded, when you get desperate, when you don't have nothing, you don't have the answers on how to defeat this. Your economy's breaking down, everybody else doing their thing, and your economy's breaking down. What you going to do? Same thing that Jake do. You're going to go out there, you're going to pick up your sword and you're going to go rob somebody. You're going to go to war with somebody so you could repair your house. And that's on a lower level, but that's on a bigger level too. So what do you think is going to happen when they ain't got no more food, the economy's getting destroyed, and now they ain't got no money for their warriors, for their army, and they going downhill. They going to get to pop off. At any little thing, they going to say, man, we popping off, we going to war, we got to do something. You see what I'm saying? So a sword's going to come. So that's how, prophecies, doing with critical thinking, you got to do critical thinking. And these prophecies, they start popping off. Let's jump to, actually, let's watch another video. Got another video right here for us. Another quick little video.
Not a single day off after January 28th. Unable to go home for multiple days in a row, waiting to collect and cremate bodies at any time, day or night. This is what life is like for funeral home staff inside Wuhan, the coronavirus outbreak center in China. One worker's voice has been distorted to protect his identity.
We're on call 24 hours a day. Staff members will briefly take a nap after coming back and go out again if there are any phone calls, because bodies cannot be left inside hospitals for long.
Videos claiming to come from funeral homes in Hubei province, where Wuhan is located, are circulating on social media. The one Yun works for used to cremate 30 bodies per day, but now they need 100 body bags on a daily basis. Yun says the dead bodies are contagious, adding that hospitals don't always wrap them.
A dead person would still have some air and bacteria inside his belly, and it will come out when moving the body. That's why we have to use 2...
Damn, that stuff serious, man. When that come to Mystery Babylon, woo, it's gonna go down. They say he still has some air in his body. They scared to move it. They scared to wrap the bodies. This already dead bodies, because it is highly contagious. You can get it by just a dead body. Now, they said they're working 24/7 cremating bodies. Well, that don't add up with the numbers. You got 500 million people quarantined off, and you got 24/7 cremations going on, but y'all only saying that 1,000 people died. Y'all only saying that 1,000, maybe 2,000 now then died, somewhere between there. That don't add up. Why you got to work 24 hours to cremate 1,000 bodies? So that lets you know they high in the numbers. If they saying that it's 1,000, it's probably 1,000,000. It's probably 100,000. It's probably 1,000,000 people that died from that virus already. That they're cremating bodies 24/7, cremating. Got all these different cremation processes going on, and they got to cremate these bodies. So there's a lot more people dying than they're actually saying. There's a lot more people dead at their houses that they don't even know about, that they haven't even discovered yet. Dead in different parts of the cities that are shut down that they haven't even discovered yet. That lets you know the numbers are off. 24 hours. 24/7 cremating bodies. This stuff is highly contagious. They're killing their population off. They're killing their workers. They're killing the business. This coronavirus is killing the business owners. So how's your economy going to recover from this? This is a major strike. And like we said earlier, when your economy goes down and you weak, man, you ready to go to war with anybody at any little thing. Something that you would have backed off from, like, okay, that's something small. We gonna let that go. We ain't gonna go all the way to war with something small, right? Now, when you weak, you gotta go to war with anything little small. You gotta pop off. Cause you ain't got none. You at the bottom now. And that's the Lord that's forcing them. He bring that hook out their mouth and he forcing them off those pride high mountains that they were on and bringing them down to a lower place, and he finna make them go to war. And that's when you're gonna see this nukes go off. That's when you're gonna see the mark of the beast come into the world and be mandatory, because they got to control these people. They got to monitor these people, and that's coming to Babylon too. That's coming to America too. And then that's where you're going to see all destruction. That's how we know this is the end time. And you're going to see the elect getting saved by the Lord when the Lord come back. All this is going to happen in our lifetime. This could be a year. This could be 2 years. This could be 5 years. But it's very soon. Let's jump into 1 Chronicles 18. Let's just get verse 2. When I get my phone to start, right? And he smote Moab, and Moabites became David's servant and brought gifts. And my only reason for bringing this verse out is to show that the Moabites been Israel's servants. This was just a group of them, because of course, like the scripture said, the full of them, they pretty much been untouched. But this is just showing you that, as the old times was, the new times will be, for lack of words. So really the same way when King David come back into the kingdom, and King David's back in rulership in the kingdom, a king in the kingdom, and then you got the king of kingdom, the lords of lords, of course. You got the elect, you got the apostles, you got all these different levels, right? And the Moabites are going to be King David's servants again. They're going to be all of Israel's servants again. They're going to be servants because of what they did, the wickedness that they did, helping build up this wicked world that you see today. And they going to be utterly confounded, and they're being confounded right now. They ain't got the answers, man. Everybody used to have the answers back in the day. Moab had the answers. Edomites had the answers. Everybody had the answers. Now people ain't got answers. Just like in Exodus, the Pharaoh had the magicians going out trying to recreate and really try to get an understanding of the plagues that the Lord was bringing against Egypt. That's happening today. That's why this place is spiritual Egypt. This happened today. The plagues that are going on, they got magicians, they got doctors, scientists that's trying to figure out how to stop them or how it happened. And they can't figure out, they ain't got the answers. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's jump into, because this links up with Revelations 18. For all nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, right? And the kings of earth had committed